Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our first LinguaFolio Cafe session on Tuesday, October 13th. We are recording this session, so everyone is on mute to facilitate the recording. We want to welcome everyone. This is a new concept for us this year and a different way for us to talk about LinguaFolio and how we implement it in our classrooms. We are going to have these LinguaFolio cafes throughout the year, quarterly, and they'll always be on Tuesdays at 3:30. Notice the dates. We've highlighted, of course, our date today. You may have seen that in our listserv announcement too. But we'll have other LinguaFolio cafes throughout the year with different focused topics. So we'll be meeting on January 12th about setting goals and choosing can-dos, March 9th about collecting evidence, and May 11th about using the passport to move on to the next year. Our LinguaFolio cafes are designed to be a bit different than our webinar broadcasts. We are still using the same software to get out to you, but we hope to have a little bit more discussion and a little bit more of interactive activities where you'll be contributing to the conversation as we move throughout a LinguaFolio cafe. I should go ahead and introduce myself. I'm the Bitmoji on the right-hand side of the screen. This is Anne-Marie Gunter. I'm the World Languages Consultant at the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction.
Okay, so I'm the other Bitmoji on the left. My name is Satli Stotts. I'm one of the ESL Title III consultants in the division. So I have the pleasure of sharing the agenda today. We're going to have some welcome, introduce the team, who we are, Anne-Marie, Dr. Gunter, and me, and also some logistics about the controls and the interaction tool that we're going to use today. And we're going to also have some guest speakers in a special way, and Anne-Marie will tell you about it. And then we're going to have that space just for us to chat about LinguaFolio and how we are planning on implementing this formative assessment tool in our classrooms, or maybe sharing experiences if you have used it in the previous years. And then we're going to have some reminders, some important information and resources that are available that we want you to be aware of. Okay, so these are the Webex controls. Most of you already found the raise your hand option, the electronic hand. There are two options to find this. One is in the little dots that are at the bottom of the screen, and you click on raise your hand, or depending on the browser that you're using, you might see the little hand next to your name. So let's see if you can find the hand, raise your hand so we know that we have this feature available for everyone. So if you can go ahead and now raise your hand. Let me see if I can go back to participants. I see a few hands. Okay, all right. And some of you already said something in the chat. And as I mentioned before, if you select all attendees or everyone, depending on the browser that you're using, it should be either option. We all are going to be able to see all attendees and not only the host or the presenter, but everyone. So those are the two communication options that we're going to have through Webex. And then we're also going to use Mentimeter. We love Mentimeter because it's interactive, it's free, and it doesn't collect any personal information. And we love to have these. And we always recommend that if you are working with your students during this remote instruction time, then you can use this tool because then everyone can participate. It's an anonymous participation. They vote, they answer to some questions, and they feel more free to do it this way. And they can do it using any device. The only requirement is that they have internet connection. But then once you enter menti.com, and we love doing it with the smartphone because then in that way you don't have to switch from the presentation to Mentimeter. So if you have your smartphone, you can just type on one browser window, you type menti.com, and it will ask for a code. And when we have the two polls that we're going to share today, you will have the code on the screen, and then you just type the code, and then you see all the different options, and then you provide your response. So, and click submit. So it's going to be super easy. Sometimes when you do it on the phone, it takes participants to a different window, and it looks like you have to download an app, but you do not have to download anything. You do not have to register. You will just only go to menti.com, enter the code that is a 6 or 7 digit number, and then you will be able to participate. So if for whatever reason it says that you need to register, get an account, download something, maybe you click on a different tool. So don't worry about downloading anything. That's something really important. And then again, the voting with Mentimeter is anonymous, and any other personal information is requested. So if we go to the next slide.
We have a quick question though. One of our folks is asking, where is the code we use? And actually the code will be on the screen where the question is that we're using with Mentimeter. So the
Yes,
code, yep.
Yes, we have our first code and the next slide. So you will see it, and then you will just enter that number. Thank you for that question. Okay, and we have a question about CEUs. If you want to address that, Anne-Marie, before we start with the polls. Or I can do
it. Through this broadcast and other NCDPI professional development that we do like this, we often offer a contact hour certificate that you can use towards a CEU. We collect information about who attends today and participates throughout our live broadcast, and we send that information in so that you can be sent an email that has information about our broadcast today, the time, the date, and the content, the topic, as well as an attached certificate to the email that is your contact hour for joining us for this hour-long broadcast today. Those certificates, by the way, typically come out within a week or two of our broadcast. The time can vary, but we ask for your patience. The person who works on those will get them out as soon as she can.
All right, so we have the first poll today. We want to know why you joined the broadcast today. So we have different options, and you can select all that apply. And we have Access PD for ESL, Access PD for World Languages, Ask a Question about LinguaFolio. Some of you might be brand new to LinguaFolio. Connect with other educators. You want to see what other educators are doing with LinguaFolio. Earn 1 contact hour for license renewal. Gather some information to share with others. Maybe you're a school leader or a lead teacher and you want to share with your teams. And then learn about new resources. So again, if you type menti.com, and I'm going to put it in the chat just in case you want to do it on your computer, you just need to click on that link. But if you're doing it on your phone or a tablet, then you just type menti.com and it will prompt the option for you to enter the code. And the code is 5888597. So once you see the options, then you can enter this code and select your answer. So I'm going to go and do it just in case. We'll make sure it's working. So again, the code is 5888597. And I see the options. So maybe we can share. And Marie, if you click on use the code, we can see. And we're going to leave it open for a few minutes. Woo! All right. We already have 18 participations. Great. Thank you. Okay, so I see we have 30 participants have joined so far, and we have 18 participations. So we're going to wait a little more. Maybe you are deciding which options you want to select. Are you joining? Are you an ESL teacher? World languages? Okay. Okay, so if we refresh one more time, Anne-Marie, and maybe we'll see if we got more responses from our audience today. Okay, 25. So we're going to continue just for, so we have more time for the last part. And it says, why did you join the broadcast today? So let's see, the majority, oh, we have Ty. We have, I want to learn new resources and access PD for ESL. Hey, way to go, my team. Yeah, but let's see, we have 11% of our attendees are world languages educators. So thank you for joining us. And I see we have 17% gather information to share with others. So thank you for being those leaders in the school districts and bringing those resources that we have available at the state level that are free, and not only for language educators, but for all educators, because they work with our students. And when we talk to them about all these resources, they know and they understand a little more how they can support the students as they learn language. All right, so we can continue. Thank you everyone for participating. I see, okay, let's go to the next slide. And I'm going to invite Anne-Marie to talk about the guest speakers we have today.
Well, we actually have sort of a treat for you today. We want to feature guest speakers in all of our Lingofolio Cafe sessions. So we talked about the teachers who have already been in our Lingofolio teacher videos, and you may be familiar with some of them already, particularly if you've done the Introduction to Lingofolio training, either face-to-face or online, because they're featured there too. But we had some basic facts that we knew. For example, we know this school year, our 2020-2021 school year, has been a busy year for all language teachers. So world languages, ESL, everybody. It's been pretty busy. In fact, we've had, starting in August, an early start to the school year for everyone, and the finale of the L Summer Conference that was going on as well. On September 10th, you may have joined us for the first Lingofolio webinar for NC for the beginning of the year. Or on September 24th, maybe you join us in the evening for the Twitter chat that focused on Lingofolio for NC. Last weekend, the FLANC, the Foreign Language Association of North Carolina Fall Conference, took place online. And then on various dates, even continuing beyond today, the Growing Success for ELS, or the Fall Professional Development Series, was happening. So that is a lot going on in teachers' lives. And so when we came up with the question of, so who do we feature at the Lingofolio Cafe on October 13th, we wanted to draw in our Lingofolio teachers from the videos, but they were all very busy. So we said, let's go ahead and just use those videos as our guest speakers. That will give you more options as participants for discussion, and more opportunities to really think about how you can implement Lingofolio in your classroom in different ways and with different ages of students. So we're going to do a roll the video activity. All of the teacher videos that we're looking at today are posted on our website. This is just a screenshot of that page. Notice that these are all videos about classroom implementation, and that's our focus today, of course. And so we looked at this and said, you know, we really don't think we've shared this as well as we might, and this is a good opportunity for us to branch out and do that. So I'm going to click over to the page itself, because this is just a screenshot, like I said. I want us to really look at this, because one of the things that's happening here is that these videos, which were recorded in 2012 as part of our Lingofolio carousel event that we had in the western part of the state, are all practicing teachers who are still in classrooms today using Lingofolio in very different settings. So notice on the left side, we have the ESL teacher videos so that you can easily access them. We have an ESL teacher video for every single grade span where ESL is taught. So we have elementary, middle school, and high school. Some of you online today may in fact be the teachers in that video, or maybe we're at those presentations, or they may be new to you. On the right-hand side, we have different videos for world languages. We have a K-8 video, and that actually focuses on a dual language immersion, or DLI, program that's done in German. So they're looking at Lingofolio in that setting. And then we have a middle school Spanish teacher, as well as a high school French and Spanish teacher combined, and a high school Russian teacher who all shot videos that day and made them part of our training overall. These materials are posted, as I said, on the website, and you can get them anytime. They're just under professional development as a link to materials available. But let's get back to how we're going to use them today in our work and our activity for the LinguaFolio Cafe. Give me just a moment. We have some technical issues behind the scenes. There we go. So you are going to get to choose the video that you want to take a look at. So we're asking you to choose one video from the LinguaFolio playlist on NCDPI's YouTube channel. And the reason is because we put all those teacher videos, and that's where we have them housed, is on that playlist on the YouTube channel. So they're always there available to anyone. That's also where we put things like the recording of this broadcast, the recordings of our webinars, and so forth. So everything is there for you to see. So we want you to choose one video. And as I said, we want you to choose either the ESL elementary video, the ESL middle school, the ESL high school video, if you're an ESL teacher or primarily an ESL teacher, because we know there are some people who teach in both worlds, ESL and world languages. You're also welcome to choose the K-8 DLI video. You can choose the world languages middle school video, one of the world languages high school video, which we've got labeled as more commonly taught languages, which is what Spanish and French are, is more commonly taught. Or you can choose the world languages high school video that's the less commonly taught language. Remember I said it was Russian. And you need to know that that particular Russian class was being taught online in 2012. So if you're a teacher, for example, who's teaching remotely, you might be interested to see how that teacher talks about teaching language online, given the situation we're in currently. So that's what you're going to be doing today for the first part of the activity. So here's our activity overall. You'll choose that one video, and then we want you to watch the video you selected for 10 to 15 minutes. Most of the videos are about 10 to 12 minutes. Some are a little shorter, some just a little longer. It depends on the one you choose. Of course, if you choose a longer one, you can kind of skip to the parts that are most important to hear the teacher talking about implementing LinguaFolio in their classroom. Or if it's a shorter video, you may want to review some pieces of it. It's totally up to you. But you're going to watch that video you select. Then you're going to make notes. Specifically, what we want you to make notes about the 3 most important things you learned about implementing LinguaFolio in language classes from the video you watched. And then we want you to rate the video you watched by giving it a glow, which is the best thing about it for you as a teacher learning about implementing LinguaFolio, and a grow comment as well, which is an idea you have to improve or expand upon what the teacher was talking about when it came to implementing LinguaFolio. Once you're done doing that activity and making your list of the 3 most important things and doing your glow and grow comment for the video you chose, we want you to check back in with ready in the chat box. Just type in ready so that we know you're back. And then when you're finished and we've got most people back, we're going to go ahead and have our LinguaFolio conversation about the videos we watched, the things we learned, and the glow and grow comments. So that's our main activity for the LinguaFolio Cafe before we get into our discussion. Are there any questions about the instructions for today? Okay, I don't see a lot of questions in the chat box.
I don't see any questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you click over to the playlist, that LinguaFolio playlist on our YouTube channel, you can go quickly right there, and I'll put that link in the chat box so that you can jump over there, and you can see that there's a whole variety of videos to choose from. You may even recognize some of the teachers in the opening shot of their videos, but they're all labeled just like we said they would be in our explanation. So please go ahead and watch your video, and we'll reconvene probably in about 15 minutes or so when we see a lot of readies coming into the chat to have our discussion.
I see one ready and a couple of responses in the chat. So don't forget to add send to everyone or all attendees so everyone can see your responses, your participation. But we have 3 or 4 participants who have completed. So if you want to start finishing the activity and keep your notes. So once we start opening the mics, you can participate and share. And remember to add ready in the chat so we know that more of you have completed the video. Okay, I see a couple of more responses and maybe we can continue so we have some time to share and hear from you. So if you have the video recording going on, let's stop for now. So we have 20 more minutes. So it will be great if we can share and see what are those glows and grows and the important things that you learn from these videos.
Okay, so to get us started, we're going to do another Menti and ask, which video did you watch? There's a little over 30 people on the line today, so that's very likely some of you watched the same video, but we'll see. Go ahead and fill out the Menti. You're probably old pros at it now, but just go to menti.com and then type in the code that you see on the screen. All right, it looks like all of you are responding right now to which video you watched, so let's take a close look. We've still got several people who can respond, so again, just use the code that's in the chat box to respond to this Menti. All right, it looks like we had a lot of people watching the ESL Elementary video, as well as the World Languages Middle School video, and several in between. It looks like all of our videos got at least one play today, so that's good. And now you know where to find them as well when you want to go back and look at them more closely or watch another one. So let's talk about them. We've got our 4 questions back. And so as you take your turn chatting and sharing, just be sure you identify which video from the playlist it is. What are the 3 things you learned about implementing Lingofolio, and then what's your glow and grow? Let's start with the ESL K5 or ESL Elementary video, since a lot of you did that one. Please go ahead and raise your hand. We're going to experiment with the system a little bit and see if we can unmute you so you can just share out your answers to these questions about the ESL Elementary video. Or you can type it into the chat box and we'll share that out for you. Depends on how brave you're feeling and if you want to take a chance that we can unmute you. This is a relatively new system to us, so we're learning it as we go. For that ESL Elementary video, what are the 3 things that you learned about implementing Lingofolio? I'm looking for things in the chat box sent to all attendees. Or if If you'd like to raise your hand, although I think we have hands raised from before, and be unmuted, we can do that.
Yeah. So if you can indicate in the chat that you want to be unmuted, we can try to do it. It will be great to hear from you and see what is it that you want to share about the video that you watch in this first video. I see a few hands, but I'm not sure, as you said, Marie, if they were participating before. Kathleen, Mayra, Christy. So if you want to share, please add in the chat and I will unmute you. I don't see anything in the chat, so I think we have a very shy crowd, Anne-Marie. I see some familiar names, so I don't know if we should try to get some of them to participate. Let's see.
All right. Let's see who we've got. I'm also opening a Q&A box. We haven't been really using that, but it looks like some of you may have been putting questions in, so I'm checking to make sure. I see a couple things actually in the Q&A box, Sally.
Okay, awesome.
So in answer to the first question about what did you learn, what are the 3 most important things you learned, Georgina says that she learned that Lingofolio is to become an independent learner and take ownership of learning. And that's very true. Lingofolio belongs to the student and it helps them become more independent with their language learning and with learning in general, and to take ownership of that language learning and know where they want to go. She also says that students reflect on what kind of learner they are and reflect on what they can do in class. And that's very true as well. Part of the components of Lingofolio are to help learners think about how they learn best and what works for them, particularly in a language learning environment, but to some degree in just any learning environment. And then have them reflect on what they can do in class. We've always got that can-do philosophy with the I can statements in Lingofolio. And finally, she said, Lingofolio teaches students how to learn languages. The subject has speaking skills and comprehension, etc. There's a lot there for students to understand the language learning process better, so that they can manage that themselves as they get older and really know what they want to learn language for, what their purposes and goals are, and how they set goals to reach even further.
Okay, and now I see a few participants have volunteers, so I'm going to unmute Christy first. Let me see. Christy?
Hi there. I'm Christy Stanley. I serve in Chapel Hill, Carborough City Schools. So thank you for this opportunity today. I'm here as a learner today to learn more about Linguafolio and how to best support my teachers. And some of my takeaways. I watched the middle school video. Is just that shift to something very student-driven, and the formulation of student-driven I can statements, and also the implementation. I'm thinking of that portfolio work. And I briefly watched another video too. It was specifically the middle school Spanish, where a teacher was talking about her journey and how she actually came to Linguafolio. And she was kind of recounting how it was out of a need to I guess, validate the need for world languages, specifically in her district, and how this created this awesome body of evidence, not only for her as the instructor, but for students, for families, and for administrators as well, and a larger audience beyond that. And that's it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it sounds like you took the opportunity to even watch other videos. And again, I'd like to encourage all people to do that. There's so much information there just on that one YouTube playlist for us to use as educators.
Okay, thank you, Christy. I'm going to unmute Manuelita.
Hello, I'm Manuelita Cardona. I am the ESL science teacher at the ESL Academy in Winston-Salem at Winston-Salem Prep. And what I really liked about the video I watched, which was the Linguafolio Middle School, was the metacognitive aspect, the fact that the kids get to assess their own work and know whether they have acquired whichever topic they are working on. So they are capable of correcting themselves, see where they are struggling with, and select their best work and put it up in the portfolio. However, something that was not clear to me, and to tell you the truth, I haven't had the time to really look at LinguaFolio and all the documents that are posted on the website. But what I noticed was that it demands a lot of paperwork, although the teacher kept saying that if she had the time to take the kids to the computer, she would do everything on the computer. So I don't know if the forms are already created or is the teacher who has to create the forms. So that was not clear to me. And unfortunately, the way how the teacher presented how LinguaFolio worked was through her computer, but it was not easy to read what she was showing, but she kept talking about the can-do statements and many other components from LinguaFolio. So it is not clear to me as to how to really implement it. I really like the idea. I want to do it, but I haven't really gotten to to the part of, oh, so this is how it really worked. So, and that's why I decided to join this cafe today to gain more insight on how it works.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did join today, because one of the things we're going to be talking about, speaking to your grow comment and what you can do next, is share with you all where you can find all of the classroom materials for LinguaFolio. They are already set up and designed. You can download what's already there. You don't have to create anything on your own, and use what you need in your classroom. And they're available as Word documents, as PDF documents, so you can use them printed out, or you can use them online with your students in some capacity. And there's also a LinguaFolio online, which is LinguaFolio as an online app or tool that you can access and make available to students. So that'll be coming a little bit later, but we do have all those classroom materials on the website for North Carolina teachers.
Yeah, and just to clarify, these videos were created in the first stages of LinguaFolio and how it was being implemented in North Carolina. And it has evolved. And as Anne-Marie said, we have all the classroom materials, all those different resources that you can just download and use. So you will see how easy it is. And if you want to, for example, record the evidence and now with remote instruction, I'm sure all school districts have different learning management systems, Google Classroom, Canvas. They will give you those different tools that you might want to use and tweak, because that's the beauty of LinguaFolio as well. It's not something isolated. It's something that you can use and integrate into your instruction, and helps you as you make those connections with the language learning goals and the content goals that the students might have. Is like, if I want to learn this academic language for this specific subject, then what is the language that I need? What is those language functions that I need to learn and be able to do. So this is when the students are doing these reflections that you were also mentioning, Manuelita, and at first, and I understand that because when I was in the classroom, my first approach to LinguaFolio was that it's like, oh, paper-based, and I have to print all this, and I have all these different sets of materials. But now there are multiple ways to have these online, and you can share and have everything with your students, so you don't have to have all this paper if you don't want to. We recommend that the first time that you go through the materials, and if you do the reflection yourself, if you speak another language, it's great to do it, because then that helps you understand how the different biographic components are used, the passport, all the different components and parts. So we're going to show you in a little bit where those resources are, so you can go and explore. And we are going to have some other LinguaFolio cafes, and we're also on Twitter or email. So if you have those questions and you're like, okay, I already explored and I really want to do this, and we're going to be able to collaborate and help you with that. So thank you. And maybe we have one more participant. I see Caroline. I'm going to unmute Caroline, and then we can continue. And Marie, so let me see. Carol.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Okay, so I went to the elementary ESL, and there was a lot of conversation in the background. But what I really liked were the graphic organizers, the accommodations for the students that um, didn't know as much English, that they could use the closed sentences, and the teacher selected the words for them prior to completing the lesson. And it was posted on the bulletin board, and the children can move the words around. I like the I can statements, that the children can read their own statements and identify what they have mastered for themselves.
Yes, and that's a powerful part of LinguaFolio, is that students, not only get that autonomous learning and independent learning, but in fact are empowered, like you're saying, to know what they've already mastered, and then what's next that they have more confidence that they can master, since they've been successful already and documented that.
Yes, and making connections with their own,
Yes,
setting their own goals.
absolutely. That's an important part.
Yes, and thank you for participating. And we hope that you come back for the next LinguaFolio cafes. And as we get to know each other, you feel free to participate. This is an open space, an informal chat. We want to have an organic conversation. So thank you to those of you that shared today, and hopefully next time more of you get excited and can share about it and this learning process that is for all of us implementing LinguaFolio. So any other comments, Anne-Marie?
That's all I see. I'm sorry we don't have more time to chat today, because there were some other folks who said they wanted to chat, but I'm conscious of our time too. It's probably been a long Tuesday for a lot of folks. So let's go ahead and move forward with some other things that we have, particularly for the classroom materials and where those are at, as well as the training for LinguaFolio. We just have some reminders about accessing those materials so that you can use them in the way that is best for you.
Okay, so Manuelita was asking, do we have these available and can we use them? The answer is yes. And we have organized the materials in our Google site in bit.ly/NCLF home. And if you are World Languages and you click there, you will have the different resources in different formats. We have in Word document and PDF. And we also have for English as a second language. And Marie was also mentioning the LinguaFolio online for North Carolina, which is a platform that will help you organize and set up. They can do statements and do all this work on that platform. And let me see, I think I left somebody unmuted, Anne-Marie. I think for
Oh,
time.
no worries.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think it's me. It's Caroline.
No worries. Let me try to find you if you can unmute out. Okay, I think I got it. No worries. And another reminder, for time we won't be able to explore and go to the website, but we really invite you to do it. And we're going to add the bit.ly link to the Google site on the chat so you can access later. But another reminder is if you are brand new to LinguaFolio or you need a refresher, we have some training online via Canvas. And you can complete this on your own pace and your own time. It's a self-paced course. And you can complete it if you are a K-12 educator or if you are a K-20 educator. Then we have those two options. So you can log in. And the way to do it is when you access your nieces to your NCED Cloud account and log in the same way you go to check nieces, Power School, go open and see it. You will look for this. And on the website, we have the guidance. So we give you the course code and the step-by-step, the process that you need to follow to enroll in this course and complete. And it's a really nice course. I think we have 90 participants currently completing this opportunity. So if you want to learn more, after you explore the website, you're like, maybe I want to read a little more, then the Canvas course would be a perfect resource for that. And you could complete it with your PLC if you want to involve more teachers in this. If you're a school leader and you want to invite other educators, then you can do it together as well. So we invite you to explore this on our website. And then I think we ran out of time, 2 minutes after, but we want to know if you have any questions and we want to invite you to the next session. We planned this for January the 12th because we thought, well, now you have the beginning of the year webinar. You have all the resources you need. Now we have the Lingofolio Cafe. And then in December, we're going to offer another webinar and we're going to share some other resources and come together and see how the process of implementing LinguaFolio is going. And then in January, we'll have some information that we can share. So for example, those of you who are new, you're going to explore resources, maybe complete the Canvas course, and then you start discussing in your teams in the school, okay, we can use LinguaFolio. Which grade level are we going to start with? Because it's very, and maybe in some of the videos, you will see the teachers reflecting on this, is don't try to cover all your students at once if you're new to LinguaFolio. So choose one group, one grade level, and go with that one and try. Start with doing the paper-based, and then if you are tech savvy or you have all the resources in your school district and you can use Canvas or Google Classroom, just go for it. Or if you have the opportunity to use LinguaFolio online, that would be another option that you can have. And this is our contact information. Dr. Anne-Marie Gunter, we're languages consultant, that's her email. And Satli Stocks, ESL Title III consultant, that's my email. And we are sharing now information on Twitter. We had a Twitter chat and we're using the hashtag LF4NC. So if you start exploring and you have questions, just go ahead and also create community through this and start sharing what you're doing. And thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, just go ahead and type in the chat. We hate that we ran out of time, but we wanted to have something short because we know we have a lot of webinars these days. But something that is meaningful for you and give you some specific resources that you can go ahead and explore. But if you have any questions, just type in the chat. I see some people saying, thank you very much. I'm going to explore these resources. I'm super excited that we have the opportunity to add it on Canvas. And I think Anne-Marie shared that as well. All our resources are available for all our teachers, so you can use them, adapt those resources the way you need them with your students. So just go and explore the Google site, download it, and be ready to share what you're doing in the next LinguaFolio Cafe.
All right. And as Sally said, thank you for joining us today. I have put in the chat box to everyone the direct link to the Lingofolio website. Although you may want to use the bit.ly link, that's up to you. I've also put a note that if you want to sign up for any NCDPI listserv so that you'll hear about Lingofolio cafes and other professional development opportunities like this, you can go directly to the link I put there about signing up for the listservs. And you can sign up for listservs like NC Lingofolio, World Language Instructors, Teachers of English Learners, and all kinds of things where you can get information about that. Sally has put the Twitter hashtag in there as well if you want to use that. And I have one last question, which is, do we get credit for attending this cafe? And the answer is yes. If you attended today and actively participated, expect your certificate to come via email within a week or two after this broadcast. If you're listening to this recording, we can only give certificates to those who participate in the live broadcast. And so that's something to think about as you plan for your upcoming professional development and the webinars and different opportunities like this that you log into. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. I see that Sally is putting in the bit.ly link we have for signing up for the NCDPI listservs as well, and also has put in the bit.ly link for our Lingofolio Google site.
Yeah, so you have two options, the long URL or the bit.ly, but the idea is that you can access all the information. So either link will help you explore all the, and remember you can sign up for all our listservs at the agency, but for attending this session, you will be subscribed to the LinguaFolio listserv. So you don't need to worry about missing the information about the next cafe.
I do see a question too about the 7 teacher videos that we have on the YouTube playlist that are linked, of course, from the Lingofolio website. Those are the only 7 we have right now. We encourage you to explore around, though. There are other things that get shared about Lingofolio. The ones that we have are, as I said, are from the 2012 Lingofolio Carousel event that we had, and those were the teachers who volunteered that day to present and share and be recorded with our camera team. So that's what we have available. We do also encourage you to take the Introduction to Lingofolio training. It's available through Canvas, as Sally was explaining, because there are other videos and teachers in there as well from different grade levels and different languages that they're teaching that are featured, so that you might come across additional teacher videos or insight from teachers in that training that could be helpful to you.
And I think, Anne-Marie, we mentioned this already, but just to confirm, we share the presentation slide deck and the video recording on our Google site on the archives page. So you will have access to all these as well in case you have a colleague that had to leave earlier, then they're going to be able to go back and watch the video if needed. Okay, I don't see any more questions. I'm going to stop the recording, but I think we're going to stay here a couple of minutes just in case somebody wants to ask something else. But if you're okay with it, I'll stop the recording, Anne-Marie.
That sounds good.